Hey everybody, I am David Adams. I'm here with you for Introduction to Public Policy this fall 2025. I'm glad you're here in this class. This is the first semester I've taught this course during a regular fall or spring, totally asynchronous. So I'm excited to experience this with you all and to go through this course together. I've changed things up a little bit from how I've done it in person, hopefully making it better and making it more appealing to the online environment that we'll find ourselves in throughout the term. So anyways, I just wanted to give you this open welcome introduction video, tell you a little bit about me, and talk about the course. And we'll go over the syllabus and a couple other things. I want to say that I'm in my office right now. I'm on campus just about every day of the week. You can come and find me during the day. You can make an appointment with me. You can just drop in and say hello. It's usually a very lively place in here where sometimes it can be difficult to get work done, but I love that. I love being here with students and other faculty members around the 5th floor of Gordon Hall. So if you want to stop by and chat at any time during the semester, please do. Like I said, just a little bit about me. I did my PhD at Auburn University. I finished that in 2016 and then came straight here to Cal State Fullerton as an assistant professor. Now I'm an associate professor, going up for full professor this year. So let's see how that goes. My research involves collaborative governance and water policy and energy policy. I've examined public administration concepts like public service discretion, performance, accountability, and disclosure. Self-reporting of agencies. A lot of that is done in the water arena, as well as oil and natural gas arenas. I'm also interested in how water is being used as a byproduct of energy generation for kind of continued these energy centers around artificial intelligence production. Interesting stuff. Glad to chat with you about it throughout this semester and tell you all about it. Maybe I'll link to a few different of my articles that I've recently published or have been working on. So anyways, to the course. I love public policy. I've been teaching this class for a very long time. This is kind of my bread and butter course. I really enjoy it and enjoy watching students really kind of come into their own understanding about how the world is the way it is and why there's so many things that we see that we want to improve, but the difficulty of actually accomplishing those changes is made clear through a lot of the activities and readings and discussions and lectures in this class. So let's get to the Canvas page here. I had this set up for us where you can see my office hours, Tuesday evenings, Thursday mornings, and then I have I turn on Discord, leave it open on wherever from 7 to 8, so I'll be there live on that for this class since it's asynchronous and online. You can also post on there at any time. You can click the Discord link in Canvas. You can click it on the syllabus, wherever I have written it, to find the actual server. It's right here if you want to do that. Also, the structure for this class, I said this in my email to you and in the Canvas announcement, I run my asynchronous courses on a week-to-week basis. So we start the week on Monday at 12:01 a.m. and it ends the following Sunday at 11:59. So a lot of the stuff in this course, that's the final deadline for the week, is 11:59 on Sunday. And so that means that you're going to be kind of pacing yourself. I have for a writing project, I'll talk about specific guidelines that you have stuff due throughout the week sometimes. But for the most part, you're kind of on your own. And with that, you need to be reading the book. When we get to the book, make sure that you have found the book, purchased the book, rented the book. It's an old one. It's from 2020, and I keep it an older version on purpose because my lectures talk a lot about the new stuff, but the old one is still pretty dang inexpensive. I hear there's one floating around on as a PDF somewhere on the internet, but I'm not sure about that. So anyway, so that's the kind of the structure of the course. We're going to run through weekly modules being released on Mondays, everything due finally by the end of the week. The grade breakdown for the course, you have a scaffolded writing project. So there is a writing project with several different components, and that total is worth 60% of your grade. We're going to have quizzes just in about every week. These will be short quizzes, 10 to 20 different questions, depending on how much content there was. We'll have some discussion boards, not every week, but we'll have discussion boards from time to time. And then a participation grade. So this is actually you getting onto the Canvas site or onto the Critic site, the alternative site that we have that I'll discuss in a moment, but participating there and on Canvas. So tips for success. You're on your own for a lot of this stuff, and I have a lot of writing, and there's stuff due, reading and writing every day of the week. So make sure you stay up with it. Reach out if you have any questions. Please do. I am here for you. All right, so we can move into our syllabus now. All right, so again, here's how to contact me. You can text that phone number that goes to my Zoom phone, which goes to my personal cell phone, but it's a Zoom text. It's my office phone number. So feel free if you need to text, if you're comfortable reaching out that way. My office is actually Gordon Hall 516. 521 is the main office. I don't know why I did that. Anyways, so 516 Gordon Hall is where I am. A lot of this stuff you can read through. I'm not going to spend the entire day going through all of this information. I do want you to have this required text. Again, it's an old one. It's 5 years old. And so the cost of it is pretty low. And there may be one out there somewhere that you can find. So the key learning outcomes, what I want you to have at the end of this course is to be able to discuss and explain the key features of public policy making in the U.S., recognize and describe the distinct stages of the policy process, describe the different actors that influence policy, how they interact and what their role is, articulate the kind of historical and contemporary structures that expand, facilitate, or constrain public policy, describe the various theories. Your paper is generally around these kind of various theories that attempt to explain the drivers and influences leading to policy change or maintaining the status quo and applying this to a particular policy domain. So you'll see that we'll have module quizzes and the policy process analysis paper broken down into different components, discussion participation, and attendance and participation. Again, attendance and participation is taken by your interactions on Canvas. So the quizzes, that'll be up there. I still need to post for this week. It'll be up there, short 10 to 20 questions, and it's due Sunday at midnight. The policy analysis paper, this is all done on a separate platform called Critic. Critic is a peer review platform that you should have received an email invitation to from them. Check your spam folder if you haven't. I noticed that just under half the class is already signed up at this point on Tuesday afternoon. So sign up for that if you haven't. There's already an assignment in there for the first week that you need to get done. This is a platform that it helps us with peer review, but it also allows you to understand what each other is doing for your term paper. So you're reading, you're learning from each other about two or three other peers each week, or each component of the process. You're writing some real feedback to them. You're clicking through a rubric on their work, and then you get to evaluate the people who are giving you feedback. And so your score for the entire project comes from 3 different sources, right? The actual content that you write, the feedback that you give, and then the feedback on your feedback. All of these add up to be your overall score. I will link a video explaining all of this in our Canvas module for this week. So you'll have these kind of different sections of it. And all of them are kind of small chunks, and you're building the entire time. So while it says 1 to 2 pages, 4 to 5, 7 to 9, 10 to 12, you are in total writing a 12-page paper. You're just building it up over time. So this kind of topic selection and proposal is the first step. And this is a short one, right, where you're drafting about a page and a half, defining the policy issue that you want to research. I have more instructions for this in a separate document. And then you're building it out a little bit more with some annotations around some literature that you're going to do. You'll turn that work into a shorter paper, a literature review, and then you write a rough draft, and then you write the final paper. At each stage in this process, you will have a option or an opportunity to peer review, as well as get feedback from me. So you're going to have a lot of feedback, small chunks, small components spread out throughout the entire 16 weeks of the course. Again, that is all done on Critic. So it's critical that you have, sorry for the pun, that you have Critic. So go ahead and sign up for that. There are no tests in this class. The Critic process runs pretty quickly. So it's set up where you are submitting your writing and have kind of a week window to do that, a 1 week window, and then you have a 3-day window to evaluate your peers, and then you have a 2-day window to evaluate your evaluators. You'll get updates and reminders from Critic around all of these deadlines. Don't cheat. Critic has a kind of plagiarism detector and a AI detector. I have a very extensive AI policy. I think AI is great. I think it can really help us with our work. It can help us refine our ideas. It can help us engage with new ideas that we would have never seen, or connections between ideas. You'll be using it in the workplace. You'll be using it in your career. You may already use it now. If you do, read this document carefully around my specific language around artificial intelligence policy. I do allow you to use it under certain circumstances. So be clear what those are, because if you kind of go afoul, your grade will suffer. So please stay with these things. I have a very detailed about what it is, using it, what's allowed, what is not allowed for the policy analysis paper, the reason why I let you use AI, the ethics and responsible use of AI, and then the repercussions for misusing it. Again, carefully read through this. I don't want some error because you didn't read through this to trip you up on any of your writing or your grades. So plenty of resources on campus to find. If you have any questions about these, please let me know. Be nice to each other in the chat, in our discussion board, I mean. We don't have a lot of ways to interact with each other beyond the peer review, which really helps. But also in the discussions that we have, they'll be lighthearted for the most part. I want these to be kind of, they're worth, you get credit for them, but I don't want it to be something that you're stressing out about doing, but kind of enjoying to go in there and answer the question or think differently about something and talk to your classmates. This is our community together in this class. And in the space that we create together, we can make it a lot of fun and really enjoy and get something out of those discussions, rather than it just being some stupid activity that we have to do at the end of the week to get credit for it. So that's just kind of pointless. This class does satisfy GE area 4U. So if you're working on that, good job. And then the rest of the stuff here is the calendar of events. So this week, 8:25 yesterday through 8:31 Sunday night. Kirkland Chapter 1. Watch the 3 videos in the module. Complete the quiz and do the first critic component. It's a writing project. I think it's like 200 to 300 words, so not a lot. You don't have to count words. Get close to it, and work with your the peer review components when that comes up. This will be our initial test to both calibrate your scores against the way that I would score something, so that Critic can rank you of how good of a scorer you are, and then just let you get familiar with the process. This will be considered our discussion board participation this week, so if you do it, you get full credit for the discussion board this week, plus I'll give you a couple extra points. I don't give out a lot of extra points, so make sure you do this. And that's the flow of it. I'll put in the module in Canvas each week, the materials for the week. So week 1, critic orientation, that'll take you right to it. The lecture videos, you can watch these. They are all YouTube, on my YouTube channel there. And then I have links to the actual slide decks if you want to go ahead and get those. So if you want to go back and look at the slides, and then the quiz, I just need to turn it on. It'll be linked right here. You can also look in the module area at the top for course materials. I have the syllabus, the lecture slides. So all of the slides are available for you right now. And the YouTube playlist, it's all right there. These are reruns from this summer. So they are pretty fresh. And I've tweaked a couple of them since then, but they are all there and ready to go. So just follow along week by week. I try to keep the discussions, the videos, this one's already running long, under about 10 minutes. So you can just take get your 10 minute of the video, 10, 15 minutes of the video, and then take a break. So you're not sitting there for a 45-minute, 50-minute video. Nobody wants to do that. So speaking of that, I should start wrapping this up. Last thing I want to mention, though, is at the end of the syllabus, I just have some language right here about why this course matters. Right, you are in this class in a particular time in American culture where we don't get along very well, or we're pretty split on a lot of things. This has been a constant, right? Back from the beginning, as they're trying to form the American regime and arguing for the Constitution, as they go to convention in 1786, 87, and 88, right, writing about factions and the violence of factions in our nation, right? We're going to cover these things in through the lens of history and through philosophy and through the development of our understanding around problems. We'll see that the polarization is there, but the government continues to turn, right? We still have to address problems. The way that we address those problems varies over time, but we still have to do it, right? And my aim here is that you are able to break through the noise in the news or in your news feed or whatever it is where you get information, right? And really deeply understand what's going on and why the things that we shake our fist at the cloud at, why they happen or why they don't change. And you'll see that process is all built into the theories that you're going to examine for your term paper and the material we're going to cover in this class. Lastly, I will go back to that term paper real quick. I will not cover it now. That will be in a separate video when we get closer to this. But the full term paper assignment was not there anymore. Will be on Canvas for you to access. There we go. So this really does walk through step by step every component along the way. I give you, for stage 1, for example, the thing that's due, the first component. I give you the date when it's due, the time we're going to be reviewing on Critic for the peer review, what you're supposed to do, examples, things not to do, how you'll be evaluated, and then for each I have some pro tips. So scroll through this on your own. The whole thing is done in these 5 stages. There's some extra stuff here about how to do a good review, what to do, what not to do, resources and support, useful databases, thinking about time management for this process, stuff to avoid. So read through that. Go over the syllabus as well. Take your time, get used to the material, get used to this flow. This first 2 weeks, we're going to be pretty chill, and then we're going to start stepping it up as we get into the writing part of this class. So I look forward to it. I hope to see you all in person sometime, or in my inbox, or wherever it may be. Come find me, send me your questions, send me your thoughts, and let's have a great term. I can't wait. Take care.